Hello, thank you so much for pressing play. I'm a man called Dave. Of course, I'm at the Rossum Juice Bar in Bandon, Oregon, and I'm here for myself. I was here doing vibration therapy, bioharmonics. I have a platform, a vibration platform where you stand, and it's a lymphatic fluid mover. That's, of course, our waste sewage system. That's how our body removes waste is through the lymphatic system. And if you're stagnant or not too active, then the best thing to do for yourself is to come here. And I call it the jiggler because that's what it does, is it jiggles your whole body. And even your ears are jiggling. So that means it's getting these lymph nodes up here. And when I put someone on the vibration machine, I'm always making sure that they're respiratory, they're not getting dizzy. I don't want them to get short of breath or anything like that. So you got to be really careful. But that's what I was doing, so I feel really great. And also, Tony Robbins says to change your state before you have to do any public speaking or anything. He always jumps on a little mini trampoline, and I don't have one of those, but I do have the vibration technology, which helps me help myself. And that's what I want to do for you, is help you help yourself. This flag behind me is the civil flag of peace, is a civilian flag of peacetime. And I did rewrite the Pledge of Allegiance for myself. I just did it for myself. Of course, no one has to follow what I've done, but of course, it says, I pledge allegiance to the people's flag and to the republic for which it stands, one sovereign nation under divine law with peace and prosperity for all. That's my goal. That's my mission, is for myself and my family. I'm a legacy builder, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm here to create a legacy for myself. And right now, we've been doing the old pledge. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. I keep saying it doesn't stand. So last week we talked very briefly at the very end about Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution for the United States of America. That's a republic, a republican form of government. And Article 4, Section 4, I'm just going to share my screen because I pulled it up. Let's see, share sound. I want to do that. And we're just going to share this whole screen here because down here at the bottom, this is the Constitution for the United States of America. And right here is Article 4. And you go down here to Section 4, which I've highlighted. The United States, and take a note, that's not all capital letters. That's a capital U, lowercase, capital S, lowercase, shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government. That's not your two-party political Democrat and Republican. This is a republic form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislator or of the executive when the legislator cannot be convened against domestic violence. Here's why that's important. We, the people, are the legislature. We don't know that because what we have in this country is a democracy. We don't have a republic. It doesn't stand, like I said. So the people, we the people, for the people, by the people, are the legislature, except for we're not in our positions. Those seats have been vacant. So then what happens is it leaves it up to the executive branch, which is the president of the United States, except for what about the commander in chief of the military? We don't really know that there's two positions at the top. The president of the United States generally is the president of the corporation called the United States federal government, and the commander in chief is in charge of the military. Now, there's a lot of debate. No one really knows for sure. It's mostly speculation and hearsay, except for Donald J. Trump might be the president of the Republic for America, in which case he would be the 19th president of the Republic for America. It's possible that's why he did not put his hand on the Bible during his oath, because his previous oath, which he took to the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution for America and the Republic, is still in effect. Why would he double dip on his oath like probably every other president before him? I don't know. That's just a guess. I really don't know. What I do know is that this Constitution for the United States guarantees that if the legislature cannot be convened, basically, if the people are not in their seats, then the executive, and why would the president of a bankrupt, fraudulent, phony corporation, not DJT, but of course every president before him, why would they, you know, send in the military to arrest all their friends and reinstate the Republican form of government? Why would they do that? If the people don't even know and we have our heads in the sand, then why would the corporation help us out? And they haven't, and they won't, and that's just the way it is. But we've got a new president now that apparently he's setting us up, right? He's prepared us to take back our government. And that's why we were learning about this. God is government. So in the District of Columbia Act of 1871 is when they created a new constitution for the corporation, for the United States of America Corporation. 1871, it moved us away from a republic. We talked about this. Okay, but now the reason why this is even more important is because I pulled this constitution off of the website for the Oregon General Assembly. The very first assembly in Jamestown, 1619. I have friends who have family and bloodline on the land that go back to the 1500s, before the first assembly was established. So this is really big what we're doing. It's not fictitious, it's not made up, it's not something that was just invented. This is a constitutional government, a republican form of government guaranteed to us by the Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution guarantees a republican form of government. The United States of America is a corporation. This website's full of information, and you can go to the resources tab and it gives you a timeline. So here's that flag that I have behind me, the civilian flag of peacetime. Constitutional law versus common law. You can click on this and do some learning on your own. And right here, American history timeline, the Magna Carta, of course, if you want to learn about Robin Hood and the Prince of Thieves, I think is what they call him. I believe he was a baron under the King of England, or I don't know, King John, it says right here. So there's a story about Robin Hood was taking the gold from the king and giving it back to the people. He was the very first, vigilante. Maybe he would have waved this flag behind, had he known about it. But that was before the Magna Carta, where the people really, they wanted rights. They wanted taxation, what is it? Taxation without representation. The Mayflower Compact, 1620. This is going back. The Fundamental Orders, Declaration of Independence, the Articles of Confederation, Treaty of Paris, and then right here, Constitution for the United States. And I clicked right here. It brought me to this tab where this is something that we should know. Of course, we don't know. Our schools don't teach about it. And if we do, it's the other version, the corporate version. That's mostly what we have access to, is this Constitution of the United States. Stay away from that. It's not as accurate or as helpful in these times. So right here, we have America was founded on Christian principles. This is another document that you can find on the homepage of the Oregon General Assembly website. If you notice at the top, there's a dash between each word. And this is our public notice. Coos County has settled. We issued our public notice into the Coquille Sentinel newspaper for 3 weeks in a row. And that's part of the common law legal notice, lawful notice, where anybody who had a claim that said, kind of like at a wedding, it says, if anybody has any objections, speak now or forever hold your peace. Well, now's the time to make a claim. If you have a claim on this man or woman, or if say you're already married, or you have an investment that you want to make known to the public, now is your time. Otherwise, speak now or forever hold your peace. And since nobody spoke up against our constitutional republic forming in Coos County on Oregon, then we settled. We had 13 members all swear. I was one of them. And 13 is, that's how we form our grand jury. So another thing right here is below, it talks about the 5 branches of government. Most of us only learned that there were 3: legislative, executive, and judicial. But there's also two more. Says there's a grand jury and a assembly, a jural assembly, which is the pool of people, men and women, that make up the grand jury. So we all going to have to, at some point, if we want to do our due diligence, we're going to have to learn that there's five branches of government and two of them have been absent. That's why we only have the de facto, which says right here, de facto authority, three branches of government is Roman civil law: executive, judicial, legislative, and they're fighting over power. It says checks and balances, but that's not even true anymore. But what about the people? The people are the jural assembly, and then we have the grand jury, which is ultimately who decides, who's guilty, who's innocent, what laws are unconstitutional if it fits the criteria. That's a paid position in the de jure Republican form of government. It's the only paid position is the grand jury. So we have the Bill of Rights. These are the first 10 amendments. And also those are based on the 10 commandments. Most of this is all, I don't know why, I mean, at the top here, it should say 10 commandments, honestly, because that's what all this is based off of. It's God's law. It's the ultimate law. And that's why it says America was founded on Christian principles. This is by R.D. Mitchell, who is the Chief Justice of the Oregon General Jural Assembly for the state level. And in Coos County, we have a petite jural assembly, and our sheriff in Coos County is definitely not a de jure constitutional sheriff. He has shown his true colors time and time again, and it's possible that his name is going to be listed on a long list of public servants, city officials, local government people who are against the people of Coos County. They're going to be at some point tried for treason, I guarantee. So everybody has a chance to repent, but we need to learn about this because the United States is in a state of war for its existence. And the war really is the Bar Association versus the people. And you could say the people who make up the Republican form of government, except for they're not in their seats, right? That's what we keep saying. The Bar Association is British accredited registry. They're part of the Royal Crown. And these are foreign agents working for the banks to harvest financially, emotionally, spiritually. This definitely is spiritual warfare. And if you read this document, it says, here's a quote from Thomas Jefferson: Christianity neither is nor ever was a part of the common law. Now, common laws comes from England, the commoners. It's part of common to all mankind. But of course, when you look at the creator and you apply biblical principle, it says do no harm to another. It's the golden rule. And that is the common law. And it's the one law that we share between all of us is to treat others the way you would want to be treated. And of course, if we love our neighbor and we love our creator and we're thankful and we live in gratitude, then we can't help but love ourselves, as well, and treat ourselves with love and respect and kindness and forgiveness. Most of us don't forgive ourselves. We don't forgive our trespasses as we forgive others who trespass against us. That's the Lord's prayer. Most of us are not doing that, and I do my best, but of course I'm guilty also. I beat myself up. Principles of common law, Blackstone Principles of Common Law. This is just really, really great information for us to read up on and educate. I don't really care too much to use AI except for it summarizes what can be found on the internet. That's what's helpful about AI. It takes everything on the internet and makes one summary. And it says Article 4, Section 4 of the United States Constitution, also known as the Guarantee Clause, guarantees that each state has a Republican form of government and protects states from invasion and domestic violence. I just said that we're under attack. The Bar Association against the men and women, the private non-citizen American nationals. That's a mouthful, but a citizen is like an employee of a corporation. So especially that 14th Amendment citizen, you want to stay away from that. It's never been ratified. The Bar Association, they are the foreign invaders. The banksters are the gangsters. They're the ones that are in charge. They're the ones who are funding the cartels, who are bringing over the drugs and the human trafficking. And the fiat currency is a big issue. I know that once the Fed is dismantled and destroyed, a lot of things are going to stabilize and return back to the way it should be. This is something that has not been easy, and I think back in 2012, friends of ours in Oregon were attempting to settle and establish the Republic for Oregon in order to remove the Obama administration president, CEO of the federal corporation in 2012 for crimes against humanity. And all 50 states, their grand juries all indicted him for crimes, but at that time the counties were not settled and the military would not move because the Republican form of government had not been properly established. The foundation is in the counties. It's the people. It's the men and women on the county. And that's why on Oregon, we need 5 more counties. We already have 9 counties settled. We need 14. And right now, all the rural Eastern Oregon counties are the ones that are left, but it's difficult to get men and women to gather. This is why I'm doing these videos, with hope that by sharing these videos and creating a ripple effect, it can turn into a tidal wave that'll reach the last 5 counties on Oregon so we can settle the de jure constitutional republic. I will share my screen one last time because this is very important. I go to Cornell Law School, and you go up here, 28 U.S. Code, section 3002, subsection 15. The United States means a federal corporation. Okay, so right here it says color of law. Deprivation of rights under the color of law is 18 U.S. Code, section 242. They've been using statutes and codes. This is City of Bandon in their charter from 2002, claiming to be a municipal corporation. This is the City of Coquille Charter 1967, Section 2, claiming to be a municipal corporation. Okay, so if corporations, this is a federal corporation, United States, are operating under codes and statutes like the California Penal Code and the Oregon Revised Statutes are color of law. And our sheriff, Fabrizio on Coos County, says that he will not support federal executive orders. He will only support Oregon Revised Statutes. He will not break, quote unquote, the law. And that's how we know who his master is Kotex up in Portland, or whatever her name is. She's a they, them, maybe, I'm not sure, or she is might not even be human. I've been watching a lot of, documentaries and films that these entities are inhabiting soulless bodies, and they're the ones who are in charge of these mandates and these color of law actions, and they don't fear the consequences because they don't have the same types of spiritual beliefs that I do, or that others might have. And so I think that they're here to just seek and destroy and dismantle, disrupt. That DIS is dissonance. They're here to create fear. They're here to create shame and guilt and uncertainty and confusion. Their job is to keep us in a lower vibration, separate from our creator, separate from our divine natural law. And that's where we're going to find the most difficulty. I've said this is spiritual warfare. And I know that a lot of us, we have different spiritual backgrounds and different beliefs and different knowings. But I know that I am a living spirit inside of a man called Dave, and I was given the divine spark of life. And upon my arrival here on earth from the water to the land, I received an inheritance, my unalienable rights given to me by my creator, my author, my authority granted me certain rights. And the state of California tricked my mother to give up those rights and exchange them for benefits and privileges. But now here I am, 35 years old. I would like to claim my minor estate, my inheritance, my unalienable rights that God gave me to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which includes the right to contract versus the right to not to contract, which is unlimited. I'm going to share my screen and go to my own personal Facebook page because I just posted this video. I'm going to close this out. I'm all done after this. And we'll talk about this more next.
Listen, get out of the car. It's not a crime. It is. I'm not a driver. I'm a traveler. I am a traveler in my private property. I do not have a contract to do business with your corporation. You only have jurisdiction under Uniform Commercial Code, which is for drivers. I'm not a driver. I'm a traveler. I've been no, I'm not going to step out of the car because I do not give you consent. I'm not doing business with you. If you shoot me with that taser, that's assault and battery. And I will sue you because I'm not a driver. I have not committed a crime. I have not committed a crime. Get out of the car. By who? You don't have authority over me. I do. I do not work for your corporation. I do not work for your corporation. Get out of the car. I do not work for your corporation. You're being recorded and I will sue you. So how about you get your supervisor here, and if he wants to put if he wants to put hands on me, then your supervisor can put hands. I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting an arrest because I'm not under arrest. I have not committed a crime. You are under arrest. I haven't committed a crime. I gave you my identification, which is my passport. No, just get on the radio. No, the passport says that you are hereby. Get out of the car. Read the passport. Get out of the car. Read the passport. It says that you are supposed to let me go without hindrance or delay. I know what it says. You don't. Read the passport. Get out of the car. Read the passport. Get out of the car, man. I'm not doing this with you right now. Listen, get out of the car. You're under arrest. If I get out of the car, I give you consent, and I do not give you consent. So you're going to have to shoot me with that taser. Get out of the car. And assault me. Get out of the car. You're going to assault me, and I'm going to sue you because I haven't committed a crime. You are committing a crime right now. It's called failure to carry and present. No, right now you've been advised that you're under arrest. My passport is good enough. You've been advised you're under arrest, and you are resisting arrest. I'm not arrested. Get out of the car. I haven't committed a crime. Get out of the car. You're a road pirate. You're a road pirate. You're a road pirate. Get out of the car. You're enforcing commerce, and I'm not engaged in commerce. I'm a man traveling on the land. Are you going to resist? You're going to get I'm not resisting. You are. I'm resisting. You are resisting. No, you're administering my property without right. Get out of the car. You don't have the right. You don't. You need to get a supervisor down here right now because this gentleman is assaulting me, and you're complicit. You're complicit in assault. Sir. You're complicit. Get a supervisor. I'll wait. I'll wait.
Hey, obviously that was a couple years ago. And I was technically legal, but I had a private license plate. If they were to have ran my information, they could see that I was a licensed driver. I was registered, I was insured, I was up to date in my tags, but the license plate was inside the vehicle because I wasn't transporting goods, I wasn't providing service, I did not have passengers for hire. So there was no need for me to display my registration or my license plates. So I had private license plates, and I was headed to Roseburg, traveling from Coos Bay to Roseburg, and the officer was going in opposite direction from Myrtle Point back to Coquille, and he did an illegal U-turn and pulled me over. He declared an emergency on me and pushed another car off the road to get to me. And that's how that all started. Was I didn't comply. I didn't consent. I gave him my passport, but he said that I failed to carry and present a proper driver's license and claimed that I was speeding and ended up arresting me. I did not consent to the arrest, so technically he took me without my consent. And in any other situation, we call that kidnapping, but because he has certain fashion right? Because he's donning a certain type of fashion and he has a loaded weapon, what's presumed to be a loaded weapon on his hip, and he was threatening to use force, which he has authority or he has false authority to use any means necessary to take me. And in a constitutional republic, a de jure Republican form of government, this is unconstitutional act. This cannot happen because there's no claim of trespass or property damage. There's no crime. There's no injury. There's no injured party. The state of Oregon cannot claim to be an injured party. They're not even a real thing. They can't take the stand. They can't sign an affidavit. They can't claim damages. And literally, that's what I was fighting against. I'm not going to comply to an unlawful order given to me by some man who thinks he has authority to administer my property without right, period. I don't suggest anybody do that because, of course, I was taken, I was harvested, and my property was held for ransom, in which I had to trade Federal Reserve fiat IOU debt notes in order to get my property back, which is a huge hassle. And it's spiritual warfare, and they want to create feral humans, and they're really good at it. So please don't help them if you can. But that's why we're trying to figure this out. We can convert our democracy to a constitutional Republican form of government, and then men and women on the land are no longer harvested by a corrupt banking system that controls the courts and has these cops on their payroll. They're working for the courts. It's called human trafficking. That's what I've said on record. I'll say it again. They're professional human traffickers, and it's all legal. The other quote that I like to share says, when tyranny becomes legal, rebellion becomes mandatory. That's where I'm at right now in my life. And I call it civil disobedience. So I'm going to close out for now. Please share this. Please send it to your family, your friends. I don't suspect anybody right now has any questions, but I'm very grateful for you for watching this far. If you have, please share this out. We need to get more people, especially in Coos County, involved. Go to Oregon General Jural Assembly with the dashes in between. Reach out to me, man called Dave. I'll send you the info. I'd be happy to sit down with you in private and share everything that I've learned. I've got lots of documentation and things that we can go over. So please reach out. You guys have a great night. Stay safe, be well, stay hydrated. Okay, love you.